In this video, I'm going to make a chill pill. They're very simple, quick, and easy to make. You can make one in an evening, 2 or maybe 3, depending on how fast you can crochet. If the volume on this video is not loud enough, turn your volume up on your computer. I have it as loud as possible on my iPad. So what we're going to do is make, like I said, a chill pill. I like to do 24-inch circumference. When I do that, it makes it about 6 inches long and about maybe 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter. Now, if you make it bigger with, like this one, 30 stitches, then it would actually be bigger and longer, and you'd use 18 rounds versus 13. But we're going to use this pattern instead. Now, I used these little shank childproof eyes. They have these little things that are on the back, which you pop onto the back of the actual eye. Let me see if I can get one out of this container here. Right here, you shove this eye through, and then you push this on, and that holds it together. We're going to be trying to do some of these. They're very hard to push on, but I'm going to see if I can get it done while I'm working on this video. All right, so let's get started. Let's get this out of the way. Now I'm going to do it on some very thick, chunky yarn to make it easier to see with a size K hook. Normally you do it on worsted weight yarn with a G hook. I like to use Plymouth Encore yarn. It is very soft, and it really works up nice when you're making little stuffed animals and things. Red Heart works too, but it's stiffer. It makes the project a little bit bigger, but it's entirely up to you which yarn you want to use. So let's start at the beginning. We move this up a little bit, and it says round 1, make a magic ring with 6 single crochets. Do not join and work in a spiral. Okay, so let's start with this. Now, when you normally crochet, you wrap the yarn, pull the yarn through the middle, and that's how you would begin it. Well, with this magic loop, you're going to go the other direction. So you're basically going clockwise over the top. Bring the yarn through, and then yarn over and crochet it. There. That's just kind of like holds it in place, because what you're going to do is do your single crochets around this ring. Okay, let's do 6. Now, please forgive me if I'm a little fumbly. I'm not used to using this particular hook, so I'll do the best I can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's get that. And so that's what it'll look like. Now, what you do at this point is you grab your tail, hold your work, grab your tail, and pull. See, it just makes it a tight little circle for you, so you don't have to worry about how big or small that opening is, because you did 2 or 3 chains and joined them together. I like to crochet my tail into my work. So I go into the very first stitch, because we're going to work in a spiral. We're not going to attach it and do a chain 1 and go up. So according to the directions, round 2 is 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So let's get this out of the way. So you're going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch. This is a little tight, but it's not uncommon for me to crochet a little tight. Okay. Once I get the first one done, the others seem to work a little easier. So there's 2, 3, because we're going to have to do 12. So I do 2 in each of the 6. So 6 times 2 is 12. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we don't have to do that anymore, 9, 10, 11, oh, I got a knot here, 12, okay, there I've got my first round, or actually round 2 of 12. Let's get our paper over here. Now it says round 3, 2 singles in the next stitch, or single crochet in the next stitch, repeat around 6 times till you have 18 stitches. Now I'll explain to you what I mean by 3, 6, 9, 12. Well, the reason I write that is so I can keep track of my count. So you start with 2 stitches in the first, so that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now that gives me the 3. Now repeat it again, starting with that. So this is number 4, 5, and then 1 and this one makes 6, so that is here. Now we're going to do up to the 9. 2 stitches would be 7, 8, and 1. Please ignore the knot. That makes 9. And then there's 12, 15, and 18. So now we're going to do 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and we got 16, 17, and 18. So that completes round 3. Then round 4 says you do 2 singles in the next, and then single in the next 2, repeat around 6 times to give you 24 stitches. So that's why you got the 4, 8, 12, 16. So let's do that. 1, 2 in the first stitch, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's 2, 7, 8, let me do 2 again, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, so see that I got up to here, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm going to do the last 4. 21, 22, 23, 24. Now at this point, I don't worry about counting my individual stitches because I have a little trick I do with a safety pin. What I do is I crochet 1, and then put this pin of any kind on the 24th stitch of your round 4. Now you just start crocheting around and around and around. Just keep going around and around and around. When you do that, let me get this out of the way. When you do that, there's the pin at number 20, stitch number 24, and you want to do 13 rounds. So this is round 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's a quick, easy way to count your rounds and not really have to do any counting. Oh, shucks, I forgot to bring my small hook. Okay, I'll just use this one and pull it tight. Now you want to finish, you do your 24 stitches around. I got to do one more. It doesn't matter, you can be 1 or 2 off. And then you want to do a slip stitch and then finish. Of course, you want to cut your tail about 2 feet long, and then you pull it through. Then you repeat the same thing with your other color. In this case, mine is green. The next thing is you want to stuff it. So I got my stuffing here. You just stick the stuffing in your little head. Oh, I'm sorry. We got to put the little eyeballs in first at this point. So I can take this one off. I always make sure this is off to the side so my eyes are somewhere about in this area here. And then you count up 5 rolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Insert your little eye. I said if you want to insert an eye or if you want to sew it with black yarn, you can do whichever you want. Then put the little back on it. This is really hard to do. Once it's on, but boy, getting it on is a real challenge. Okay, so I got one on. Now the other one you go over 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3 horizontally. And then you put your other back on. Okay, there. Now my 2 eyes are ready. Of course the mouth will go here and we'll put the mouth on after this step. So first we're going to stuff them. You want to stuff them reasonably tight. You don't want them to get smushy on you. And then you stuff your other piece. Because you repeat your green the same way as you made your white one with your same 24 or 30 stitches around, depending on what size you want. Now once you get the 2 put together, you'll notice you got a little kind of a ridge here, and you have another one on the green. You would line those 2 up together like this when you get ready to sew it together. Now I've got one here. I guess I could have sewed the green one together, but that's okay. Oh, let me turn it around. I always sew, for some reason I sew better this direction. Okay, you would pick up the first 2 blue. Maybe the green might be a little easier to see. Let me try the green one, because they're exactly the same. Okay. You line your green up. Okay, you get the first green one and the first white one. See if I can make this a little bit bigger. First green one and first white one. Go through both stitches. Hope it shows. And you pull it tight, but not super tight because you don't want to squeeze it. Now you go to the next one and the next white one and pull them together, but not super tight, but together. And you do it all the way around, making sure you catch the 2 on each one. So you have this one and this one. And you keep going around. I don't know why it's out of focus. I'm hoping it'll come back into focus. I'll do a couple more. So you go 1 more. And you keep doing this all the way around. Oh. So now when you get to where you're just about done, you want to put a little bit more stuffing in here, because if you notice it's kind of a bulbous shape, it's because this is really stuffed and there's nothing here, so it's kind of empty. So I don't put a lot in, but I add a little bit more just where the 2 pieces meet. That might be too much. It just kind of helps puff out the center. So now see, the center is just about the same size as the rest of it. Now you want to complete hooking it together. Only got a couple more stitches here. Then I'll show you the last part, which is the smile and the word chill. And you can do the chill in different ways. There's ones where they do it in kind of a scripty letters. And then I just do mine in basic block. I find it's easier. But it's entirely up to you. Now, then when you get back to the end here, you want to do 1 more back here. And then bring your needle to a little bit to the front there. See, so now it lines up nicely. Now we want to make our smile from here to here to here. So bring your yarn up. Okay, what I do is I go up 1, 2 stitches from here. 1, 2. There we go. And then you go over 1. And then you come this direction, 2. Now you do not want to pull this tight. Then you go back where your beginning part of your smile was. Oops, just pull my thread out. And that makes your simple little smile. And then what I do is just run the thread through the stitches, oh, maybe 6 or 8 of them. Since it's the same color, it doesn't show. And you don't want to pull this tight, because if you pull it tight, it's going to cause it to shrink in, and you don't want it to do that, and you especially don't want it to pull on your smile. Then when you're done, you trim your tail. That part's done. All right, now we're going to spell the word chill. What I've done is kind of put in a large one here of how I do the word chill. I'm hoping it'll help a bit. Now, if you get it slightly off and you don't get it lined up exactly perfect, it's okay, because it's a chill pill. You stick your white in. Now you want to go down 2 or 3. Let's see, if you count this as 1. Whoops, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. You want to go 1 to the side of the eye. So 1, 2, 3. So this is where you want to come out. So put my yarn in and come out there. Now we're going to start spelling the word chill. I always go across the top bar first and go down 4 spaces. And you don't want to pull these tight. These have to stay loose. And you come back to the top and go over 1. Like I said, this is just a basic block, but you can do any type of letters you like. Now you come all the way to the top for your H. And you go down halfway, because this is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because the H is kind of big. Now you can also make the C bigger if you want to. Like I did here, I made the C bigger. Then you come over 1 and down 1. And then you come up 1 here, because we want to make the dot on the eye. See, there's your, oops, I missed the chill. I need to fix that. It's very easy to take out as long as you do it carefully. All right, so I want to go down. Oops. 1 more. There. So there's my H. And then come over here. So there's the H. It's upside down, but it's easier for me to sew it upside down. And you can do a colonial knot, French knot, any type of knot you want. And I kind of split, instead of going back down here or over here, I kind of split. Oops, I'm sorry. Instead of going back in the same one, because then you lose your spot, your knot, and I don't go to this one, I split right in between the 2. And then go down to the bottom of the eye. So there's your dot. Then come back up for the top of your eye. And over 1 next to the dot. And then you go down to try to keep your line here. And then you come up to your other L. And then you have to bring your white yarn into your white, because you can't weave it into your colored yarn, because there's your chill. Because if you try to do it in your colored yarn, you would see it, and we don't want to show it. So just run it through carefully, because you don't want to pull it tight, because you don't want to pull this. Go through 3 more stitches. And it's done. The pattern is free on my website. So if you go to stitchniche.com, you'll find it there. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please click like and subscribe. Show it to your friends so we can keep this pattern going and keep the YouTube video going. But this is the actual pattern that I made. And like I said, if you wanted to make it bigger, also it includes the one where it's 30 stitches and 18 rounds. That makes it definitely bigger than it does when you do the 24 with the 13. Thank you for watching.